Hello, welcome back to the Forgotten Horror channel, and today I'm going to do my section 3 video nasty list. So this is just what I've got left again from the original VHS tapes. But before I do that, this is going to be in 2 parts because I've got more from section 3 than I had on section 1 and 2. So I'm going to split it into 2 parts because I don't want to do an overlong video, okay? But before we have a rundown, I've just got to thank again everybody who's commented and shared their thoughts on the last vid. It's just been amazing. And to everybody who's subscribed, commented and shared the post, thank you very much. It means so much to me. So without further ado, let's get on with section 3. Cheers. Right, so as always, I run it from A to Z, and this is going to be the first that I've got left is Cannibal. Now this is Ruggero Deodato's first trip into the cannibal land, I believe. This was before the notorious big hitter Cannibal Holocaust, about a man that gets kidnapped and abused, shall we speak. Very not too bad a film actually, but again, still, this is on section 3. So yeah, that's Ruggero Deodato's Cannibal, the first one. Next, we've got Communion, or released in America as Alice, Sweet Alice, featuring Brooke Shields' first appearance in a horror film. And this has a creepy killer with a plastic face and a yellow raincoat. This is a bit of a whodunit as well. They're accusing one of the daughters for the sister's murder. It's quite a good one. He's an absolute filth slime fella there. But yeah, Communion, or Alice, Sweet Alice, well worth checking Alice, Sweet Alice out. Next, needs no introduction, the classic, the immortal Dawn of the Dead. Now, what's not been said about Dawn of the Dead before, I don't know. But this is the original pre-cert VHS UK version. Now, people have asked me what was actually in this version. From what I remember, the gore at the end was out. You know, the eating and the pulling of the intestines and stuff out. The head explosion with the shotgun was out, but the bites was in, and where they squeezed Roger's leg, that was all in. So that was this. So it's like a mid-trimmed version. Not fully uncut, but not nowhere near as bad as the cut ones that came like in 1988. Next up, we've got another one, Dead Kids. Now, the title alone suggests, you know, it's quite a bad one, but really, it isn't too bad. There's a bunch of teenagers, from what I remember, the teenagers being killed, but they've got some sort of scientist in a lab doing some research about mind control. And again, it's on the IVA with the Golden Globe Award. Somebody commented about that in the comments. Dead Kids. Yeah. Not a bad one. Moving on. Death Weekend. Now, this one was released in around 1976, before I Spit on Your Grave, a nice little Canadian film, and it's about home invasion. These guys track this couple down that's on a way for a weekend, and yeah, she gets abused a little bit, and he gets, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on with this one. Death Weekend, and again, still in its original box. Never seen this one again since those days, but I remember it was pre I Spit on Your Grave, and a pretty good one from where I remember. Next one, my mum hated this one. Don't answer the phone, she just said it was rubbish. This guy in the mirror laughing at himself all the time. But you know, James Westmoreland. He was a bit of a hulking guy. On the phone line killer, you know, stalking people. I think he was an army vet or something that went a bit wrong. This is a bit of a label's in a bit of a poor shape, but you know, still pretty watchable. But don't answer the phone. Another decent one. This one's quite a rare one. The Evil. Now this one's got Colonel Troutman from Rambo, Richard Crenna in it, and it's about a couple that try to have some sort of a therapy sort of thing, and it's, you know, they try to be doctors or something, but they don't realise that the house that they're using has been built on the gates of hell. So there's all sorts of shenanigans going on with this one. So that is Richard Crenna. Quite a rare one, that one. I'm not sure if that's been re-released or not. I don't know. So The Evil's quite a rare one. Next up is quite a cool one. Final Exam. Now this one's like another college sorority slasher type film. A killer turns up and just bumps off people. The thing about this one is you don't know who he is or why he's doing it. There's no backstory at all to this one. And it's got some okay death scenes in it. There's a few good moments in Final Exam, but again, wasn't overly gory. But again, on the Embassy label, yeah, it wasn't bad. Final Exam. I think it's on Prime. It's not a bad one. Another small box. Next, moving on to one of the, well, come on, Friday the 13th. One of the very first slashers that started the actual slasher craze off, which grew into what we know. This is the rental certificate X version, the uncut version. So this was Friday the 13th from Warner Brothers. Yep. Now, I'm a big fan of Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th. And then they weren't happy with just putting the first one on there. They had to put my favourite of all of them, part 2, on there. This also is the pre-cert VHS. And to be honest, there's hardly any gore in it because it was trimmed. We only found out decades later about how cut this film was from the recent release on the box sets. And it wasn't too graphic, but I would love to have seen it uncut on a 4K version. I'd love to see all the Friday the 13th uncut. They would be better. Rather than releasing the steelbooks on 4K, I'd rather see the uncut versions. Next up, Graduation Day. This is a good one. This is a classic. Christopher George. He's the man of the 80s. This guy was in quite a lot of them. This is about a track team. One of the girls has a fatal heart attack because the coach is pushing her too hard. Again, Christopher George. And then someone starts bumping off the track team. So that was on the list. And again, by IVS, whatever it's called. Yeah. Yeah, Ivor film. Yeah. That's a good one. Really good one. I enjoyed that. Moving on. Happy Birthday to Me. Another classic. Another slasher revolving around another whodunit, bumping off people in a clique. There's sort of like a bit of a clique, and it's hilarious at the end with all the dead bodies sat around the table. I remember watching that with my sister, and it was like, when she rented it first time, I said, "What is this?" She goes, "Oh, Happy Birthday to Me," and I didn't think it was going to be what it was, but yeah, really good one. Next one needs no introduction. Wes Craven, The Hills Have Eyes, Michael Berryman. What a classic film this is. This actually got a worse reputation than what it actually is. It wasn't as bad as what people made out to be. Family of cannibals in the wilderness. You know? And again. Yeah. So that's The Hills of Eyes. Classic film. Next is the only Thanksgiving horror slasher that I think's ever been released until recently with Thanksgiving, but Home Sweet Home. This is quite a rare one on the media label. Psycho Jay breaks out, a biggish fella, and he goes on a bit of a Thanksgiving killing spree. These are all those nice tapes there. The media home releases all have chunky boxes as well, so that's quite a nice one. Very inspired by the Halloween type cover there with the hand holding the knife. Next, we've got one that I've only ever seen back in the day, Honeymoon Horror. Now, from what I remember, my sister's friend got this confused with Jason. They thought this was Jason, but no. This is about newlyweds that go to, I think it's an island retreat. Now, the killer he was a jaded groom, and he got burned. So there's a bit of the burning in there, a bit of Friday the 13th. And it's quite hokey as well, because apparently it was like quite crudely shot. But there is some nice bits of gore and bat in it. I'm not sure this has ever been released. I've never seen it on a DVD or Blu-ray. But then again, I've never even looked for it. So, yeah, Honeymoon Horror. So if anybody can shed any light on this one, yeah, Honeymoon Horror. Not a bad one at all, from what I remember. Next up, we've got a sci-fi sort of horror, Inseminoid. Now, aliens trying to impregnate a woman, so it's be mind control. Yeah, I was never really into much the space things, but it was not too bad. I obviously bought it, because after I watched it, I bought that one. You know, but it's one of my lesser known ones in Certificate Certificate X, but there you go. And last, ironically, for this part is the last horror film. Now this one, again, has got Joe Spinell and Caroline Munro. Joe Spinell was obviously in Maniac, so was Caroline Munro. And this to me is like a second version of Maniac, but this time another sweaty performance from Joe Spinell. Anybody who doesn't know him from Maniac will remember him in Rocky as Gazzo. Now, he plays a taxi driver in this one, and he wants to be a movie director. And obviously he sees Caroline Munro, and he starts stalking her, and things take a downward turn from there. The last horror film. It's the last hardest thing to get out as well. So there we go. So again, the video seal or video phone number. Right, so that was the last horror film. So that is going to do it for part 1 of section 3. Part 2 of section 3 is coming soon. I didn't want to bore you with an overly long video, so I've just thought I'd show these 15 or 16 first, and then I'll get on with the rest in another time. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and if anything catches your eye, put it down in the comments like you have been doing, because I've really enjoyed all your comments, and everybody's telling me information that I didn't even know. Like I say, I'm no expert. I'm just going off my memories of owning these classic things from back in the early 80s, before they were banned, and some after they were banned. So thank you very much, and I will see you all for part 2. Cheers.